Hey guys, John here. It is February 25th, 2025. I want to talk about the Radeon 9000 series launching soon, and some of my updated thoughts since the whole Nvidia's very clear hatred of everything gamers, because it's not like gamers are the only reason why they are supposedly one of the most valuable corporations in the world right now, right? So I think AMD has, if they really do things the right way, Nvidia couldn't make this any easier for them. I mean, it's like they're trying to give AMD market share. So let's talk about prices. So I really think the 9070 non-XT really shouldn't be more than 450. Now, the MSRP, and then I think the 9070 really shouldn't be more than 550. Now you say, oh, well, you could go $600, right? But then the model partners are gonna have souped up versions of the cards, and it's gonna go up another 30, 50, $100, and so Nvidia doesn't have an MSRP. So everything Nvidia's been basically doing is just flat out criminal, and I find it both amusing and obnoxious that the reviewers, like just the reviewers in general, I'm not going to call anyone out specifically. I think it's cute that they don't use the word criminal. When you say the MSRP is $1,000 and the cheapest card, if you can buy it, is $1,500. That's a 50%. Like that. That's it. Okay. For same generation performance of last generation, but it's just terrible. AMD should ignore everything Nvidia is doing. And so they set up MSRP. They got to remember the day one reviews for the people who do actually bother to watch the reviews. Okay. Now, anyone watching this, you guys really like the hardware as much as I do, and that's fantastic. But most people, maybe they'll watch a day one review. Okay. And that's the reviews that matter the most. So I really think 550, because the model partner cars will go up to 600, maybe 630 max. And at the price, because the thing is, when you talk about things like FSR4, which they were showing off performance FSR4 in Ratchet and Clank at, what was it, CES or whatever, and it looked fantastic. It was very clearly much higher quality, and even though it's just one demo, FSR4 won't matter if people can't get their hands on it. Okay, so PC gaming won't matter if people can't get their hands on video cards. So now, can they go lower and not hurt the bottom line? Then go lower, because the partner cards are always going to be higher, because they're going for market share, right? So not margins. So FSR and everything else won't matter if they don't have market share. It doesn't matter how fantastic it is. So they margins have to be sacrificed. Now, someone's going to say, well, we got to have some margin somewhere. It can't be like a lost product, and I agree on that. And I'm going to reiterate why I think having a 32 gig 9070 XT would make perfect sense. Let's say an extra 16 gigs of GDDR6 is $50. Charge an extra $100. There's nothing exists beyond 16 gigs right now, unless you go to the used market, which I hate going to the used market. I really don't. Now, I know some people get good deals, and I get that, right? But you could have bought a 4090 or 7900 XTX with 24 gigs, but they're all out of stock, which sucks, okay? And the 5090, the 4090 second edition 5090, oh, they get an extra 8 gigs. That's fine, but how much are the fake MSRP, criminal, false advertising, is like, what, $2,000? So if they release a 32 gig 7900 XT, and it's like, let's say, $650, that'll sell like hotcakes. Now, not everyone will need it. Not everyone needs the VRAM. Not everyone realizes, there's people who are playing Skyrim with, the defaults. Most people playing Skyrim right now have that modded to living hell. But I regularly go, run out of VRAM, more than 16 gigs. Sniper Elite 5, ran out, I didn't technically run out of VRAM, but I went right up against it. And if I had any browsers open, because browsers love VRAM, I don't know if it would have crashed or slowed down. I tried the second Star Wars game, Jedi Survivor, or what was the other order, Fallen Order. I can't remember which the titles. I get them mixed up. That was running out of VRAM. Now I think that's just a bug because I was reading people with 16 gig Nvidia cards running out of VRAM. So that was just a dumb bug in the game. But if you can make it through the level before the bug fills up all the VRAM because you have that extra VRAM, right, that solves the problem. 16 gig is lower mid-range. It's still technically mid-range, but it's lower mid-range. And it's really obnoxious. Like, where's the 24 and 32 gig cards that aren't $3,000, right? All right, so no one wants fake frames. Fake frames are out. Forget it. If you read everything, the only people who got excited about fake frames were the knobs that like blindly trusted everything Nvidia said at their keynote back at CES. I mean, that's not dumb. That's dumb to that's DTTF. I mean, that's just irrevocably dumb. Okay. You look at all the votes and the review, in the comments. No one wants fake frames. We want real frames that are actually rendered, right? We want actual real FPS. And here's Nvidia, at CES saying, only 8% of the frame is rendered because the next 3 frames are fake, and then, yeah, no one wants it. So if I was talking to AMD right now, I'd say, ignore Nvidia. Let Nvidia go down its rabbit hole of stupid and die a dark death. All right, day one reviews. So now I want to talk about like the I know I've heard rumors that there's going to be an 8 gig card. No. Intel, they released 2 cards released because everyone basically knows they're taking a loss. We don't know how much they're taking a loss on them because they don't have enough IPC. So, but at the price, they're really attractive because there's nothing else at that price range. I mean, you could get 6600 Radeon around $200, but again, it's 8 gigs, which would have been fantastic for me before I got my 6800 non-XT about 2 years ago, because I was rocking a 4 gig 290X, right? And so 8 gigs would have been fantastic for me. And now here we are, back in 2023, I was already running out of VRAM with the new 16 gig card, right? I really think that the bottom of the barrel, if they want to release something, because they have the 9060, and that's going to be 12 gigs apparently, right? So why not just release, instead of a 128-bit memory interface with 8 gigs of VRAM that no one wants, do a 10 gig 160-bit memory interface. At least then, like, you read the reviews like, hey, it's not 12 gigs, but it'll make that much of a difference because everyone was like, hey, the extra 2 gigs, even though it's still low VRAM, it does help. And I think that would really help the overall 9000 series with the reputation. Because the thing is that most people, especially Nvidia fanboys, they look at, oh wow, the 4090 second edition, it destroys everything, and then they go out and they buy a 60 series class that can't do ray tracing. They're at 1080p, so DLSS looks like garbage. It's just they don't realize that they could have gotten like so much more for like $100 less from AMD, whatever. So, but yeah, I really think if AMD really wants the market share, and I would love to see AMD take just huge amounts of market share, the lower they can go, I would say don't take a loss on the cards, but definitely if they think that they can price cut 8 months out, do that with the original price right now. They have the stock because anyone who's been watching these videos, if you're watching this right now, you've watched other videos. Moore's Law is dead, tech power stuff, hardware unboxing, sorry, and you read articles as well. We know that they've got stock, and that when they release the cards, that people will actually be able to buy them. And maybe they'll sell it some places, maybe, I don't know. But the thing is, if Nvidia has effectively zero stock. Okay, so I really think if they're really aggressive, I mean, if they go below 450 on the 9070 and below 550 on the 9070 XT, they can start to tempt people who really want to wait for Nvidia, see no stock, see obscene prices, nothing close to MSRP. All the day one reviews saying, hey, look at FSR4, it's got more VRAM, and the performance is just, that's what they should do. But that's my opinion, of course. I don't know what margins I have to work with. What we do know is that as the transistor sizes shrink, and each node gets increasingly expensive, more and more expensive. So this is the time to go it's that game, go as low as you go, and you go backwards, you can go underneath I forget the name of it. It's time to go as low as you can go on the price and to just get as much market share as possible, because those people, when Nvidia does start doing, starts flooding the market, because they want to have 10,000 models when AMD has 500, and it's relative numbers. They're like, well, where was Nvidia when I need a video card? So I really think that's the best business decision they can make, because the people who are buying the consoles, I don't think most people buying consoles are thinking AMD. They're just thinking they can buy a $500 console, they have a working computer, and for gaming, and there they go. So, but yeah, what do you guys think? What do you guys think about the pricing? What do you think? How much VRAM are you guys seeing? Do any of you leave open GPU Z? Go to the sensor tab, set VRAM to the max recorded amount, so that way if it goes up and then goes back down, you can still see what it had reached at some certain point. Do you guys have to close your browsers in order to not run out of VRAM, to have crashes or lagging in games? And for me, by the way, when I run out of VRAM, all the games crash. They don't start to stutter, they don't start to do weird, or I don't have textures popping in and out. They just straight up crash. So I don't, when I see like, what's it, Tech Power Up? No, I keep forgetting the name of the channel offhand when I'm shooting the video. They show the videos where the textures pop in and out. And it's like, no, the games crash. So they're very clearly playing games, and that's another thing. What games are you guys playing that no one ever bothers to benchmark? That might even have a built-in benchmark tool, right? So, I mean, something from something like 2012 Skyrim or whatever, no one's going to be benchmarking that, because it'll get insane frames unless you're doing crazy mods, but that's so far out of the default settings and whatnot. So, but yeah, what are you guys playing? What are the settings? How much VRAM are you using? What are you looking for a video card? And do you guys think that AMD will actually push all the correct buttons, everything across the board, and do this launch the right way? What do you guys think? Thanks for watching.